guys. Hope that you have had a good Monday. I think that gives you a pretty good, yeah. All right. We are going to do kind of a standing balance and glute focused practice tonight. I hope that the volume is okay on here. If balance poses are new to you and you have some yoga blocks that you could use to your advantage or something similar, have those handy. And I like having something to cushion your knees handy too, like a pillow or a folded up blanket. If kneeling on a thin mat or a hard floor is uncomfortable, that can be helpful. We will get started lying on our backs. Go ahead and make your way down onto your back. Bring your feet out to the edges of your mat and let your knees knock in towards each other. And then rest your hands on your stomach and close your eyes. Give yourself a moment to mentally transition from the rest of your day to your practice. That becomes more of a mental transition than a physical one without the delineations of physical location. We do have a starting time for this class. That's nice. That can provide some structure to your day, to your week. But the more you can practice the skills of mentally setting aside the rest of your day, mentally setting aside distractions as best you can, and stepping into the yoga practice with your attitude, with your bearing, if not so much your location. Being at home can be a good opportunity to practice those skills of creating mental or emotional boundaries to give yourself a chance to relax and rejuvenate. And it's tough, and it takes vigilance. We'll touch back in with that throughout practice. Let's take 5 deep breaths together. Inhale through your nose, feel your stomach rise. And exhale through your mouth. Your entire body sinks into the mat. Breathe in. And sigh it out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. Big exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. Pick up your left foot and bring your left ankle to the outside of your right knee and let both of your knees drop to the left. It's okay if your right hip picks up. And then let's take a hold of the left wrist, arms reach overhead, and you'll draw your left wrist off to the right. So your knees are dropping to the left and your upper body is curving to the right. And then we'll reposition the torso back to center, feet towards a knock-knee position, Right ankle to outside of left knee. Let the weight of your right ankle internally rotate the left hip. We'll take a hold of the right wrist. And there's a little bit of a pull up and over. So left hand is pulling on right wrist. Upper body arcs to the left. And knees drop to the right. Let's come back through center. Let's uncross the legs and hug both knees into chest. Keep a hold of your right knee and extend your left leg out along the floor. Guide your right knee over towards your right armpit so the thigh can come around the rib cage a little bit. And then we'll take hands behind right thigh and just extend the right knee and bend it again. Let's do that a few times. Checking with how the joint feels, how the hamstrings respond. And then straighten the leg out as best you can and wake up the right ankle and foot. And then hug your right knee into your chest. Again, bring your hands around your right shin. Plant your left foot in close. Our goal is to push down into the left heel. So left heel stays onto the mat. Hips come up. And right knee remains hugged into the chest. And in this lifted position, my left knee is stacked over my left ankle. And then we'll bring hips all the way down. Let's do that 4 more times. Press into the left heel. Hips drive up. We can add the breath. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. From here, right ankle just crosses over the top of the left thigh, and we pick the left leg up and interlace hands either around the left thigh or the left shin, and add some side-to-side movement into this stretch. And you already have a hold of your left leg. See if you can just remove the right leg and extend it to rest down the mat. Guide your left knee over to your left armpit. And then bring your hands behind your left thigh and start to explore bending and extending the left knee joint. And then let's leave that knee extended. Run some circles with the left ankle. You can point and flex. You can spread the toes and curl them back in. And then hug your left knee into your chest, hands around the shin. Right foot plants. Push down into the right heel to lift the hips as high as you can without compromising the position of the left leg. And then hips come down. We're going for a total of 5 of these single leg bridges. And then we'll cross left ankle over the top of the right thigh and thread the hands through to take a hold of right thigh or right shin and rock side to side. Let's release that setup of the legs. Hug your knees into your chest and rock along the length of your spine. Come up to balance on your butt at the top of the movement. Let's do that 3 times and then come up to a cross-legged seat. Right ankle is crossed in front of left ankle and you'll fold forward. Let's sit up and bring palms to knees and take a seated cat-cow sequence. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, round your spine and tuck your chin. Inhale towards spinal extension, towards cow pose in the spine. And then exhale, spinal flexion or cat pose in the spine. Inhale, extend. And exhale, flex. And then sit up and switch up the crossing of your legs so that your left ankle is in front. And fold forward. And then sit up and bring hands to knees. Inhale, lift your sternum towards the ceiling. And exhale, draw your belly button towards your sternum, sternum towards belly button. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Think about your neck as a continuation of the rest of your spine, so it's moving in conjunction with the arc of the spine. Let's bring legs back behind and find table pose. Turn your left fingertips out towards the side of your mat, out towards the long edge of your mat, and turn your right fingertips back behind you as you come onto the back of the right hand. And then move around a little bit here. And then we'll switch this out. So we come onto the right palm and the right fingertips point out to the side. And we come onto the back of the left hand and the left fingertips are pointing towards your legs. You can take a second round of that if that felt intense enough. Otherwise, you can bring your hands together and try to come onto the back of your right hand with your right fingers, either pointing towards the left edge of your mat or maybe back towards your legs. And we'll switch sides so you come onto the back of your left hand and your fingers can point towards your legs or towards the right side of your mat. And then we'll sit back towards hero's pose. So just sit your butt back towards your hips. Interlace your fingers and make a fist and take some circles with the wrists from here. And then don't worry about coordinating or syncing the movements, but add in just some organic movement for your neck here as well. And it can feel kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. You'll find that the movement might sync up naturally. Let's release the hands and come back into table pose. Kick your right heel towards the ceiling so the ankle's flexed. Low back is neutral. I'm lifting the leg with the strength in my glutes. And then I'm going to pull my knee into my nose. And then I'm going to bring my leg out to the side. So right leg out to the side and knee in towards nose. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, knee in. Inhale to the side. Exhale, knee in. Let's do a couple more rounds of this movement. Up and in. Side and in. Up and in. Side and in. Step your right foot back behind you. Step your left foot back behind you. Plank pose for 30 seconds. And we'll come back down into table pose. Kick left leg behind you. Draw your knee towards your nose, your thigh towards your belly. Left leg out to the side. And knee in. Up and in. Side and in. Up and in. Side and in. One more round. And then step left foot back, step right foot back. 30 seconds in plank. Shift back to downward facing dog. And let's do that transition between those two poses a few more times, mainly as a way to continue warming up the shoulders. So forward to plank and back to down dog. Keep moving. We'll do this a few more times. And then next time you're in down dog, let's take 3 breaths in the pose. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Step your feet wide. And you can either fold your arms and just let your upper body hang towards the floor. Or if you like, you can slide your palms underneath your feet. So toes reach towards wrist creases. My fingernails are down towards the mat. And then I'm going to fold from here. You're standing on your hands. Release the hands, feet in towards hips width distance apart. Deep bend in your knees and unroll the stand. Tailbone tilts towards the floor first, and the rest of the spine stacks over. The pelvis, arms reach overhead. And hands in towards your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees a bit here, even if you don't theoretically need to. Try to evenly distribute your weight across your feet. And then bring your hands to your hips. And notice if you can tilt your pelvis forward a little bit more by bending your knees a little bit more. Spine is long. Hamstrings are stretching. And then let's release hands down towards the mat and walk out to plank pose. Full push-ups or knee push-ups, or table pose push-ups. Any variation will knock out 5 repetitions. I'm going to come all the way down onto your stomach. Bring your arms out to a T with your palms down and rest to the right side of your face. Try to keep both of your hip bones glued to the mat as you lift your left foot away from the mat. Left glutes are working. Your low back muscles are working a bit as well. And then we will go ahead and allow the left hip to pick up off of the mat so that we can roll towards the right side of the body and step the left foot over towards the right hand so that this becomes a spinal twist. Roll back to our position with both hips down and the left leg lifting. Hold for a couple more breaths. And then lower the leg down, flip over towards the right side of your face. Lift your right leg away from the floor, but keep both hips down. It might be a small lift, that's fine. And then right hip lifts as you roll towards the left side of your body and step your right foot behind you. Roll back onto your belly, back onto your pelvis, but keep the right leg lifted. And then set the leg down. Palms in alongside your rib cage. Elbows wrap towards each other, so elbows are in line with the shoulders. Let's inhale and press into the lower body, press into the hands, lift into cobra pose. Maybe arms are straight, maybe there's more of a bend in the elbows, and then press back to down dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, halfway lift, knees bend, hands to hips. Exhale, forward fold. So we can think about a halfway lift as an active hamstring stretch, and a forward fold is a more passive hamstring stretch. So in a good halfway lift, my hamstrings are really pretty engaged and there's a deep stretch. And then as I fold, still stretching, but not quite as actively, so I'm not asking those muscles to work as hard. Let's stand up and reach up, deep breath in. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to hips. And then exhale, fold and walk out to plank. Let's do another set of 5 push-ups. And then come all the way down onto your stomach once again. This round, scoot over towards the left side of your mat and bring your right leg out into half frog pose. So my knee is straight out from my hip. If that's too much, if your right hip is really lifting up, then just scoot your leg down the mat a little bit more. And then you can rest to your forehead or the side of your face, whatever feels most comfortable. 5 breaths in this pose. And then lift up and thread your left arm underneath your chest with your left palm to the ceiling. Sweep your right arm open. You're going to roll towards the left side of your body, and this becomes a spinal twist. You can reach your arms wide, or if you don't have room like me, you could reach overhead. My right hip is stacked over my left hip, and I'm working to drop my right knee towards the floor and my right shoulder towards the floor as well. And then we'll roll back towards our bellies, scoot over towards the right side of your mat. Bring your left knee out to half frog pose and rest your upper body in the front of your pelvis into the mat as much as you can. And then lift up and thread your right arm underneath your chest and sweep your left arm open as you roll towards the right side of your body, or roll onto the right side of your body. Make your way back through center. And press to downward facing dog. Step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Bring your left knee into your chest. Find a little bend in your right knee, in your standing knee. Kick back with your left leg. Press the leg to straight. Hinge as far forward as you can with your upper body. Think about that active halfway lift through the right leg, through the hips, through the back. Reach your fingertips so you can touch the floor without compromising your form. If you can't, don't sweat it. And then stand all the way up and pull your left knee into your chest again. Let's do that 4 more times. So left foot kicks back, fingertips reach. And stand up. Here's 3. Your right knee may want to rotate inwards. Try to keep your kneecap tracking forward. Let's do 1 more. And then we'll step left foot all the way back, bring hands down. Bring left knee down and set up half splits. You can flex and point your right ankle if that feels good for your calf. In the ankle joint. And then we'll shift forward to a lunge. Both hands stay framing right foot, and we'll lift to the left knee by tucking the left toes under. Think about shifting your weight forward slightly. Pull your left knee in towards your nose, and then step back to a low lunge. Let's do that 4 more times. Don't let the right leg shift as much as possible. That position is going to stay the same. Pull left knee in and then see if you can extend the leg out and sit all the way down. Step your right foot to the outside of your left knee and twist to the right. And then twist to the left. And then bring your hands back behind you with your fingertips pointing away from you. Bring your left foot in, so now you're in more of like a pigeon shape in the legs. Press into your left heel, press into your palms, bridge your hips up, and then come all the way down. We'll do this transition 4 times as well. Let's do one more, make sure you're breathing. And then sit all the way down. Bring your left heel towards your hips and set your right foot down. So now we're in a more traditional seated twist position. We were in a similar position before, but the left leg was extended. You can use your hands on the floor for a lot of support, or you can use them not at all with this next pose, this next transition. We're going to work to stand all the way up onto the right foot. Pull the left knee in, and then sit all the way back down into a seated twist. It's going to look different depending on how much support you need. Let's do that 5 times as well. One more time. We'll end standing. And then we'll set the left foot down. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, vinyasa. Step or hop feet to hands from down dog. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. Shift your weight into your left foot, find a little bend in your left knee. Hug your right knee into your chest. Find an inhale. And then exhale, we'll kick back with the right leg, hinge forward at the hips, reach fingertips towards the floor. Stand up and reach forward. We're going for 5 of everything in this flow. Two more. Then we'll step all the way back, hands to support, right knee comes down. Ease the left leg towards half splits. Take some movement with the left ankle. And then lunge forward, hands to frame, left foot. Right knee lifts, right toes tuck under. Try to keep most of the pose the same. Just shift that right knee in towards your nose. And then step back. Then same transition, but keep the right leg hugging in and work to kick it through and sit all the way down. Step your left foot over your right leg and twist to your left. Use your arms to support and intensify the twist. And then twist to the right. And then come back through center and plant onto your right foot. Plant your hands behind you. Press into your hands, press into your right heel, lift your chest and your hips, and then come down. Lift up and lower. Two more. And then once you're sitting down, you're just going to take your right heel and tuck it in towards your butt and rock forward so that your left foot is to the outside of your right knee, but your right foot is tucked in. And then use your hands on the floor to help you if you need to. Shift your weight into your right foot and stand all the way up, or into your left foot, I'm sorry, right knee comes into chest, and then lower back down to your starting position. Let's work on this 4 more times. One more and we'll end standing. And then release the leg. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, vinyasa. Step or hop feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up. Reach up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Let's inhale and reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step your left foot back. Bend your left knee to hover just above the floor. And stand up into crescent lunge. Pushing down into your right heel. Inhale, arms reach overhead. And then exhale, bring your left elbow to the inside of your right elbow, and you can wrap your forearms around each other, or you can bring hands to opposite shoulders. Inhale and straighten your legs, lift your elbows away from your chest, push down into your right heel, and then exhale, lower back down to your starting lunge. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Let's do this twice more. Challenging balance and stability in the lower body. End down in your lunge. Look forward slightly. Launch forward to warrior 3 with eagle arms. Don't be afraid to bend your standing knee. And then stand up and cross your left ankle over your right leg, your left thigh over your right thigh. Squeeze your thighs together and sit your hips back behind you. Maybe work to tuck left toes around the back of the right calf. Sit your butt back, lift your elbows. And then release to a fold and just land your left foot to the outside of your right foot. Bring your hands over to the right, pivot around the balls of your feet. Now you're facing the back of your mat and your feet are not crossed around each other. Walk out to plank and move through a vinyasa facing the opposite. Step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your right foot way back behind you. Bend your right knee to hover and stand up into a lunge. We'll start by reaching arms overhead. And then we'll cross right elbow over left. Wind your arms together or take hands to opposite shoulders. Inhale, press your legs to straight. Push into your left heel. Reach your arms up. And then exhale, lunge and lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, 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 lower. Launch forward towards warrior three. And then stand up and cross right thigh over left. Sit hips behind you. Squeeze your thighs together. Don't worry about wrapping that bottom leg or that ankle. If it's too much to think about in this pose, it's not really integral. Squeeze your legs together. Lift your elbows. Sit your butt back. And then plant your right foot down to the outside of your left foot. It should already almost be there. And relax into a fold. Walk your hands around to the left, lift up onto the balls of your feet, and pivot so that you're facing back towards the front of your mat, but you're at the back of the mat. Positionally, we'll walk out to plank and take a vinyasa. And a deep breath in through your nose. And an open mouth exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Step or hop feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. From here, we have a few different options. Option number one is a balance pose. You'll work to bring your left knee into your chest. You'll work to bring your hands around your left foot. And then you'll work to hold your balance while extending your left leg out in front of you. And it's not a big deal whether that left leg straightens or not. If you want to really work on pushing the heel away from you, go for it. If you'd like to make this a little bit more challenging, you can keep both hands on your foot, or you can hook your peace finger or your peace sign fingers of the left hand around the left foot. Use your right hand in any way that helps you to stabilize. And work on sitting basically into chair pose with your hips and then standing back up. If you're capable of going lower than that and working on pistol squats, feel free. You'll do 5 repetitions of whatever you're able to access here, or you'll try to hold your standing balance for about the time that it would take to do 5 repetitions. And then you're going to take your left leg and release it. Kick back, come down into standing splits. Hold standing splits for a couple of breaths, or add in handstand hops if you'd like. Hands plant, right knee bends and right heel lifts. And then you'll kick up with control, even if that means that it's a very small lift off. Keep your elbows straight. Think about pulling right knee into chest. And then from either position, left foot steps back, both legs straighten, left heel turns down, and we'll find a few moments in full pyramid pose. Let's bring hands around towards the inside of the right foot. Turn both sets of toes towards the long edge of your mat and take a wide-legged forward fold. And then shift your hands over towards the left a little bit. Turn your left toes out and sit towards Skandasana with your left knee bent. And you might sit very low here, or this might look more like a lateral lunge. Both are good. We're going to shift from side to side. Use your hands or don't. So we'll press through center and we'll take Skandasana or a lateral lunge with the right knee bent. And then through center and over to the left. Let's do 2 more rounds of that. So this might look more like this if you're staying higher in the movement. It's all good. We'll end up with the left knee bent. We'll pivot the hands around to frame the left foot. So I'm facing towards the back of my mat. And then I'm going to press through to an open hip and down dog with the left knee bent. You can stay here or you can flip your dog, which might feel like a nice quad and hip flexor opener right about now. And then from either position, let's take a vinyasa. Maybe you hover your left foot through the push-up. Step or hop feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. Shift your weight over into your left foot. Level 1, option 1 is to work on picking up the right leg, taking hold of the foot, kicking the leg something towards straight, and holding for breath and for balance. Or maybe you hook your right pointer finger and your right middle finger around your right foot and work on sitting back towards a sort of single leg chair pose, or maybe lower into a pistol squat if that's accessible. We're going to do this 5 times. And then we'll kick the right foot back and take standing splits or handstand hops. And then back to pyramid pose with the left leg forward and the right leg back. Bring hands to the inside of the left foot. Pivot your toes towards the long edge of your mat. And drop into a wide-legged fold. And then walk yourself over towards your right leg. Bend your right knee. Find some variation of Skandasana or a lateral lunge. And then without the assistance of your hands or with support from the hands, through center to switch sides. And back to the right again. To the left. And the right. Let's do one more round. Right knee is bent. Hands come around to frame the right foot. Press back to down dog with an open hip. You can stay here or you can flip your dog. And then let's move through a vinyasa option to lift the right foot in your push-up. From downward facing dog, lower your knees to the mat and find child's pose. And let's bring knees wide. And then sit up and just swing your right foot around so that the sole of your right foot is along the inside of your left thigh. And then my right foot is to the outside of my hips now, so I just kind of shifted it over a little bit. A couple of options. You can fold forward from here and make this a pigeon variation. Or if you'd like to work on something a little bit more active, we did this a couple of classes ago. You will work to pick up both your knees and rotate them towards the ceiling and sit up into a squat, like a Malasana yoga squat, and then sit back and drop your legs in and come back to your starting position. So you're either folding forward from here or you'll knock out about 5 of those squat to shin box transitions. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So left leg comes out in front of you and your right leg tucks behind you. And you can fold forward from here. Take this as a passive stretch. Or you can rotate both knees towards the ceiling and reach forward and lift up into your squat. And then sit back and drop knees in to return to starting. You can use your hands to assist with this movement as well, whether that means really reaching forward or actually putting your hand on the floor. Swing your legs out in front of you and come down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. We're going to finish up with a bigger set of bridge pose, and we're going to focus on really engaging the hamstrings and the glutes. Bring your hands beneath your head and lift your head and shoulders. And just create a support for your head. It's our only goal. We're going to take the curve out of the cervical spine in order to neutralize the curve in the low back. When I push into my heels and lift my hips up from here, there's more of a focus on glutes and hamstrings, less of a focus on low back. And then hips sit down. And we're going to do this like 20 to 30 times. Push into your heels. Relax your neck muscles. Hips come all the way down and then lift up. Let's do 10 more of these. And then hips sit down and knees hug into chest. Bring your knees towards your armpits and your hands to your feet for happy baby. And then bring your feet down to the mat with the soles of your feet together. Knees knock open. Hands rest to your stomach. And we'll finish class in this posture. If this feels like too much and you'd rather just take a more traditional Shavasana or any other posture that feels relaxing for you, feel free to switch it up. We're just looking for a few moments of quiet rest, quiet breathing, marking the delineation between practice and jumping back into the flow of the day or of your routine or lack thereof. Let's hug knees back into chest. Rock along your spine 3 times. And come up to a cross-legged seat. Rest your hands on your knees. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And a big exhale. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight, for making time for movement. If you have any questions or requests, feel free to comment here or on my Instagram or the Adventure Rock Instagram. And thank you for supporting the gym during this month. Have an awesome night. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next week.